Hello, everyone. Nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids for Sunday News Day. Normally it's Monday, but Sunday stuff is going down. Let me tell you, a lot is going down. Let me jump over to where everything has just appeared as of this morning on the events tab on Plarium Play. Now, as we discussed in yesterday's big old reaction rant video, an hour and a half of diving in depth, Plarium is not known for always being fully transparent in this stuff, but at least it gives us something to work off of. So here we are on Sunday the 22nd. That's today. That's fine. But now we've got information on what is coming in the week up ahead. So there's a Tag Arena tournament, but it's not part of the Titan event. That's fine. On Monday, a Spider tournament with special rules is actually starting. That's tomorrow. Artifact Enhancement. We're going to have another Odin's Trial tournament. That stuff's all fairly standard. Not too much going on. We're going to have, I think it is a personal rewards CVC on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. But here is where it gets spicy, because jumping over on Thursday, running through to the start of Monday, we have the Adventure Deck of Fate. Take part in a Deck of Fate, valuable in-game rewards, earn fate points through in-game activities. So clear. I mean, everything. I know exactly what this is about. Don't miss out to get some awesome stuff. So, number one, what is being rewarded here? Well, definitely artifacts and hammer points. We know, of course, that there is a Freya Deck of Fate coming during the Asgard Divide. Asgard Divide is ending in 4 weeks and 3 days. If we jump into the in-game stuff, we still have 4 weeks and 3 days. So, this is not certain to be a Freya Deck of Fate, but it might be. Again, going back to what I said, Plarium has already shown us once during this Titan event that they will show us an event early, give us half of the information, but withhold crucial information. So yes, there's no mention of Freya here, but this doesn't mean that Plarium might not show up like someday during the week and be like, actually, guess what? It is the Freya Deck of Fate. Surprise! But we don't know. There is... this is not certain, though. They could still run a Freya Deck of Fate during the next fusion or after the next fusion. It doesn't have to be here. They still have 4 weeks and 3 days to squeeze it in. There's a decent, I don't know, like 50-50, this is it. This could also be just a Deck of Fate to get gear, right? They like those as well, where, and this could make it very, very punishing. So what I would say to you today, if you did the Summon Rush, and you have skipped Champion Chase, because you're saving for a Freya Deck of Fate, 50-50, guys. But, you know, maybe getting the points here from this Champion Chase tournament is worth it if you don't like Deck of Fates where you get gear. So I actually really like Deck of Fates where you get gear. They're oftentimes a really good way to get usually limited, like, Forge Pass sets. And it will give you, like, mythical 6-star stuff, but they tend to be very expensive. They often tend to be involving artifact enhancement. Like, I think the last one needed like 100 or maybe 200 million silver to do the artifact Deck of Fate. I will say that this Deck of Fate is going over the weekend, so it's exceptionally likely this is a summoning Deck of Fate, but it might have artifact enhancement in there as well. It's possible. There's no artifact enhancement overlapping it. There's one that ends before. This might be artifact enhancement too. It's hard to know. It could be just summons with Freya. It could be an artifact-focused Deck of Fate. Who knows? But, like, I can't give you the answer, and we can't trust this information here, I'm sorry to say. So it's really hard for me to give you guidance. I can only tell you what we do know and the limitations of that knowledge. And look, I think it's a tough call. It's really up to you which you're going to go for. But I would say that be prepared. This could well be deceptive, and it could be a Freya Deck of Fate. It could be just a random Deck of Fate with some random gear rewards and Titan points, and that's it. And it'd be an expensive summoning event. It's hard to say. Now, here's the other major piece of news, guys. There's also Dungeon Divers with some primals, but look at this. Warm-up event. And this is coming in right at the end of the Titan event, actually. The warm-up event, which means we are going to be ending this Titan event on the 1st of October, and it looks like 1st of October or potentially the 30th of September, we are straight into another fusion. I'm guessing probably the 30th. So the Deck of Fate will end, and we will probably be launched straight in to another fusion straight away. We have no idea what this fusion champion is. As you guys know, we did I've actually even recorded some test server showcases for some of the new champions, but there's 4 new champs on the test server, and we have nothing here. Now, we have nothing in terms of what's actually going to be part of the fusion. Nothing at all. What is spicy to me is the question. Could it be a mythical fusion? Again, this is ransomware clan. I love it. This is a very big, very, very big question mark. But something to note, they have been adding mythical champions, 1 or sometimes 2, in every patch for since mythical champions came out, really. Has there been a patch where they skip some? I don't think so. I think they've been pretty consistent. But there are no new mythical champions announced in this patch. So there is a possibility that it could be a mythical fusion. Again, it's only a possibility. Why do I say I think that this is something, though, that actually could happen at some point. I think this is something that's possible to happen. I think that before it was really too close to mythical releases, but I could totally see one happening towards the end of the year, a mythical fusion, right? It might not be here, but I could totally see it happening. Either, right, we're expecting a big content drop, probably I would say, end of November, midway through December. That's when they did like Hydra, Cursed City, all that stuff. There's always a big drop for like, the Christmas season, basically. So with a big content drop coming there, and there's nearly always a free login champion as well. That's really good for around Christmas and the Christmas fusion and all of that, and loads of shard events, the big end of year stuff. We might see, I would be kind of surprised we could see a mythical at that there. We could see a mythical. This is why I'm like, they could throw a mythical like end of September, mid-October. That could be a good spot for like a mythical fusion to tide us over. Be like, okay, on the left-hand side, Asgard event, okay? On the right-hand side, we've got all the Christmas stuff. How about we fill the gap with a mythical fusion? I could see that happening. I think it's been long enough since mythicals came out. It's a possibility. Is it certain? Absolutely not. In fact, it's probably less likely to be a mythical fusion, and if it was, it'd be really tough. But I mean, it's something that might happen. And yeah, I don't know. I'd be surprised if at this time next year we're still sitting here and we've never ever had a mythical fusion ever. Like I think that's something that they would probably do at some point at this stage. Let's be real. Yeah, so I guess we'll find out. Again, that's pure speculation. It's more likely than not to happen. But yeah, I think it's still crazy. We're having this a fusion kicking off like basically in a week from now, pretty much. And yeah, so this is, I think, roughly, I threw together a quick calendar. So just to make it a bit more visually clear for you. So the blue, dark blue, is the Thor Titan event. So that's running basically to the start of October. Right now, we've got 2x Ancients. Then we're going to have this Deck of Fate next weekend for 4 days, Deck of Fate. And then that's the red is the warm-up event. I think that that fusion will then probably start on Monday, maybe on Tuesday. But I'm guessing it'll probably start on Monday, the 30th September, and probably run for 2 weeks. One thing they have done in the past was epic fusions. It's been a couple of years. I think the last one was Hoskarul. And these epic fusions are usually shorter. They last for maybe only a week. They maybe only have one summoning event in them. They tended to be, I think, pretty unpopular, and people would just skip them. Hoskarul was the best one, but even so, I think people would skip them. They did not do one last year. So I'd be kind of surprised if it was an epic fusion, but it could be a shorter fusion. I think this would be a likely... Usually the cadence is this, where it would be like about 2 weeks of a fusion, then, like a 2 weeks off where they're going to be running like Titan events and Heroes Paths and Decks of Fate and whatnot. And then in here, like I could absolutely see this being the structure where we start a fusion on the 30th that runs until about the 13th or 14th, midway through October. Then over here in this gap right here, they could totally run then a Freya Deck of Fate, like maybe a Drop Frenzy for Pinpoint, like the last hurrah for the Odin dungeon, because this is when it's ending. Right, Asgard Divide, like, Summon Pool, all that stuff. I mean, there could be a Summon Pool tomorrow. That could happen as well, by the way, for Odin. But like an Odin Summon Pool we're expecting. Yeah, I'd say maybe a Drop Frenzy for Pinpoint. I'd be sort of expecting that. maybe this is where a Freya Deck of Fate could drop as well in these couple of weeks here. And then I'd be expecting a Halloween fusion really kicking off in sort of the last week of October, be my guess. A Halloween themed fusion, something they always do. They're usually not that good, actually, but they're, a fun themed thing. Um, so, yeah, that's sort of my expectations for where we are. And by the way, this would put us back to the more usual structure of the fusion. Usually, for the longest time, they've been starting on like Thursdays. It looks like this fusion is starting on like Monday, Tuesday. And we would probably have a 2x event, a champ chase for the first weekend of it, and then a summon rush for the second weekend, most likely. I think this champion chase is probably 2x sacreds, but I'm also not sure about that because they've really mixed things up. We had a random void 2x in the middle of the week, and then they went straight to ancients. So usually it goes like ancient sacreds voids, ancient sacreds voids. We've just done ancients, so sacreds is probably due up next. But again, they are now willing to throw in these sort of random midweek summon rush 2x things. So who knows? And another thing, if they did, something they could do, which would be crazy. Like I said, I think it's unlikely, but like if they were to do, like a mythical fusion, which would be, like I said, unlikely. Let's say mythical fusion. I guess it might possibly be longer, right? Like it could go through like 3 weekends, like just a major fusion with like 3 different summon events. And I would guess if they were ever to do a mythical fusion, it would probably include 2x primals as one of the events for a mythical fusion would be my guess. So it'd be like really encouraging you to, let's be real, buy primal shards. So look, there you go. Is that likely? I don't know. I don't think it's likely, but it is possible. I think there's a greater than 0% chance that they could drop a random mythical fusion at this point. But it is, I'd say, if you're a betting man, the safer bet is that it's just a legendary fusion. That's what's expected. But I do think that this one is pretty fast. Maybe I'm wrong about this. It's easy to be wrong, but I do feel like this is really fast. And yeah, they're hitting us fast and furious. I don't know, maybe it's just been so dense with events in the last while that this feels faster. Someone can work this out. I haven't had time to work it out. I want to get you the news quick enough. But I feel like this is like a week early. I could be wrong, but it certainly feels like it's a week early. It feels very fast. So yeah, that's sort of what's happening. What's happening there. I think my plan, by the way, I am skipping the 150 points in. I am going to be away for like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at my sister's wedding, which is really exciting. So yeah, I'm going to be away for like 3 days, but it should actually be very easy. Artifact enhancement's really easy, and squeezing in the spider tournament is going to be super easy as well. And Odin's trial, that's also it's very easy for me on my account to farm those very quickly. So long as these special rules aren't too crazy. I don't know if that's shown up in game, has it? Artifact enhancement, no, that's fine. I can easily do that in a few minutes, even at a wedding. Spider tournament, oh god, using only barbarians. Oh dear. Okay, well, never mind. That's actually kind of tricky. Let me throw together a quick team for you. We might do this, properly tomorrow, but my guess would be I'm just going to go into stage 20 of normal. Let me have a big thing about this. My barbarian only team. So I'm thinking we throw in. This is going to be such a dumb joke if this doesn't work. I'm going to throw in Thor and... Oh, shit, I clicked start. Uh-oh. If this doesn't work, throw in a Still of the Drakes with him. But I'm pretty sure Thor could probably solo stage 20 of Spider. If you can't solo stage 20... Okay, it's going to take him a little while. Yeah, he's actually going to die. Shit, my joke has failed. He does steal turn meter as well. That's actually kind of crazy. I might put him in with like a Farrakhan the Fat. He's almost going to solo it. He's going to murder everything, right? The single target damage is actually a bit lacking. I might gear up like a Turvold or something. But yeah, Thor plus like Farrakhan and Turvold. Still of the Drakes if you need to be safe. Stage 20 should be pretty doable. Stage 12 if you're stuck. This is going to take forever. I don't think he's actually going to win. Now I'm sad. But that'd be basically my plan, is use Thor to do this. But you can do stage... stage 10. Stage 10 drops more than you would expect. So stage 10 is a real good one to just blast through. Again, Farrakhan might be good here, but it's good affinity for Thor. Anyway, that's sort of what's happening there. How hard does he hit this? Fairly hard. Fairly. Oh, actually, yeah. Okay. Yeah, right. You can farm stage 10 very easily. My Thor is crazy geared, but, you know, stage 10 should be pretty easy for you with whatever barbarians you have. And that will get that tournament done reasonably well. Stage 20 be the easiest stage on normal to farm quickly and whatnot. Might do a proper team for that tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about all of this. Let me guess. Predicting right now, a lot of you are going to be like, oh my god, give me a break. Relentless events. It never ends. Yeah, it is. It's pretty relentless. I'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.